Welcome to this week's The Good View Weekly Boost. My name is Joanne Woods-Young, and I have my co-host here, Dr. Mary Connors, and today's guest is Stacy Shipman. She is a communication coach and a speaker, but we're going to talk with her a little bit later about all the details about what she does. Today we're going to start you off, as we always do, with our gratitude practice. So we're all going to say something that we're grateful for today. And I'm going to say that once again, I said it a couple weeks ago, I am so grateful for my health. And I'm going to also give you my health tip today when we come back around, but I'm going to pass it over to Mary now.
Well, I'm grateful for my family, for my husband. He's been helping out a lot at the house lately and giving me a lot of great support. And I'm grateful that my oldest daughter's coming back from London, and I'll see her on Wednesday. Yay. I haven't seen her in about 4 months, so excited. Yeah.
I'm grateful to be here, because it'll be fun to talk to both of you. I've known you both for a while, so it'll be fun to have this conversation. And I'm always grateful at this time of year. I love Christmas. I love the lights, and there was a little snow this morning, and it made me feel like it was Christmas time.
That's great. Perfect. So don't forget, you at home, audience, please get your little gratitude lists out and think about what you're grateful for, because having an attitude of gratitude is the way to bring more into your life. So here's my health tip for today. This is what I do. I have been feeling a little under the weather. Just started yesterday. It came on quickly. So I came home last night, took 2 packets of 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, had a couple of cups of throat coat tea, took some elderberry syrup, and then I mixed these oils together. These are essential oils from doTERRA, but you can get essential oils anywhere if you can't, or if you don't have doTERRA. This is Melaleuca, oregano, and On Guard. I just put them on the bottom of my feet, and then I'm starting to already feel better. Like, this isn't gonna get me because I've got this preventative measures here. They're all natural. So if you feel a cold coming on, now's the season that we're busy. We're running around, maybe, as we talked about in last week's show, holiday stresses, you may not be taking care of yourself as well as you should. So here's just some natural, quick, and effective remedies to help you get back on track quickly and keep on moving. So that's my tip for you today. And with the Melaleuca, oregano, and On Guard, if you can't find those, again, doTERRA, do a search online and see what would be equivalent to that. You can also do a capsule where you put the oils in a capsule and take them that way. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you. Now on to our guest. We have Stacy Shipman here today. Again, she's a communication coach, and she's also a speaker. But we want to hear about Stacy. Both Mary and I know you, and we've worked with you both through Toastmasters in some of your events. And we just want to hear, how did you begin your process to be where you are? Well, what did you do? What's your background before you became a communication coach? What did you do?
I spent the first part of my career in market research in different industries. I was in publishing, I was in direct sales, and a technology analyst firm in Boston. And so communication has always been part of my background, but more in a quiet way, because I was writing surveys and analyzing results and even moderating a few focus groups now and then. But in 2006, I left that world behind to pursue my interest at the time in yoga and wellness, and I became a yoga teacher and personal trainer full-time, because I'd been doing all that part-time. And what I realized was that my quiet nature was not useful now that I had my own business. So I had a really hard time in the beginning promoting myself, promoting my services, talking to people at networking events, walking into networking events.
So you were really quiet at one time?
Yes, I know. And it really was a deterrent for doing what I wanted to do. And a few months in, and I didn't have the clients I thought I would have, and I didn't, have the leads or anything. And I was really frustrated, and one night after dinner, I was like, why am I so afraid? Where is all this coming from? And I ended up going on this journey that included a lot of yoga and meditation to really quiet a lot of that fear chatter that I lived with in here in my own head, but also from external sources that we get criticized and hear feedback that we don't always want. I joined Toastmasters, which is how I know you ladies, to gain confidence in my own communication and leadership abilities. And it was really important that I found a strong support system that would allow me to grow and develop and build all these different skills. And so what happened was that as I developed those skills, even though I was teaching yoga and teaching stress management programs, people started to notice that I was improving when I would get up in front of people, and they started to ask me to help them do the same thing. So I started teaching presentation workshops and doing some coaching, and I found that I really actually settled into that because it allows me to bring that whole background. I still use the yoga and meditative practices to help people get grounded before they talk to people or go to an event. And my market research background allows me to ask the right questions that really pull out the best in their message and get at the heart of their message and what they want to say. And then creating a space for them to practice. And so that's where I am now, is doing most of that in the corporate environment.
That's great. So what is your mission? What is the mission or your why? What drives you to do that?
One word: connection. There's nothing I love more than connecting with people, which is why I was excited to do this, because I just love having these conversations. So connecting with people, connecting people to each other, and connecting people to their own potential and things that they didn't think that they could accomplish, and really creating a space for them to do that. I mean, when I was in the yoga and wellness world, I used to lead hiking groups, and I get the same feeling by helping someone climb a mountain that I do by helping someone give a speech or a presentation in front of a group that they didn't think they could do successfully otherwise. So I just love watching people make that shift.
That's great. So you like to see people succeed.
Of course.
People live up to their fullest potential.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's great.
And feel connected to that.
That's your connection.
Yeah, I love that.
That's great. That's really huge. What is your favorite thing about the work that you do? What is the best part of your job or your work?
I've been very purposeful about, I went wide for a long time in my work and tried a lot of things. And now over the last year or so, I've gone narrow. So I've gotten rid of some of what hasn't worked for me, and I really just focus on what does. And what I love, again, is I love the group work. So I love working with small groups so that I can really have an intimate experience with people and really coach them towards their potential and developing that presentation and giving that presentation. And I just did a program a couple of weeks ago, and one of the gentlemen in there, a financial analyst at a creative ad agency, and he was very stiff when he was delivering his work and his presentation. But as we went along, one of the things I make people do is I make them step out of their comfort zone and do things they wouldn't normally do in front of people. So I might have them stand like this and go wide, even though it's silly, and I would never expect them to do that in real life. But what happened with this gentleman was, I made him do this with his arms, and I said, well, how did that feel? Because it can be a little weird for people. And he said to me, I actually felt a lot freer.
That's
so
great.
when I hear just those simple shifts from people, it's awesome. It's really awesome to get somebody from this place to that place. And again, it's all about doing things. So I love that part of it. And then I host a leadership retreat for women, and that really encompasses everything I do too. There's yoga and mindfulness and communication, and just creating that opportunity for people to let loose a little bit and express themselves without that fear of judgment. Because I think that's what communication is, really, is being able to express ourselves in a very free, confident way. And so creating those spaces for people that allow them to bring their best self to any interaction is what I love the most.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So that's what you do.
That was a long way of getting there.
Yeah, but you kind of explained it in a way that the audience can understand exactly how you bring people to that result, which is great. What about, so just give us an example, because I want to get to talking about the Move, Breathe, Explore, but I want to hear, what is it like for you to go into a corporate office, or what is your day, how is that different from what you do with Move, Breathe, Explore? Or maybe not even how is it different, but what is it like when you work with corporations and businesses? What is that like?
You mean in there?
How is that different? What do you do with, or how do you work with?
So the biggest difference is that when I go into a business, a corporation, it's me teaching the whole program. The retreat, the Move, Breathe, Explore retreat, right now I have a lot of different presenters coming in and sharing their perspectives on different topics. So that's one major difference. Another one is that with my corporate work, the groups tend to be a lot smaller, 8 to 10 people, and we have a full day with just me to really dig deep into things. Whereas the retreat is a lot of different sessions, so you scratch the surface and hopefully get curious about wanting to learn more. I think those are the two major differences in the corporate work and the retreat.
With the corporate group, are you meeting the people again and again?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It depends. There are different programs that I offer. Some companies just want, a full day overview, and others want a longer term. So I've done everything up to 10 weeks, which is really amazing. To work with the same group of people for 10 weeks at a time is amazing. To see that transformation.
That's great.
That's great. So I want you to tell the audience about Move, Breathe, Explore. All about it. Like, what brought you to bring that out? First you can explain what it is.
Sure.
And then you can tell us what prompted it, how you got it all together. It's amazing. And
Joanne's been a presenter.
Yes, I was a presenter last year. I'm going to be one this year.
Yeah.
We want you to be there. It's coming right up in January.
Yeah.
It's the 21st.
21st, it's a Saturday.
Yes.
Yep.
Just one day, right?
It's one day.
Okay.
So when you asked me why I do what I do, and the word I told you was connection. And for me, the way we create that is through our presence and how we show up in the world. And this retreat is really about creating that foundation. It's giving you tools to be more present, to be more focused, to be more influential, to be a better leader. Whatever it is you're trying to achieve in your life, my hope is that this day introduces you to different people who can give you those tools. And for me, that's where like yoga and meditation are really very grounding. We can get quiet, we can get grounded in who we are as people, so that we can then present that in our interactions. So that's really the gist of Move, Breathe, Explore. It's about being more present with the people that are in your family, the people in your work life, wherever you are. Because I believe when we can be that present with others, we give permission for other people to be that present. So the retreat is really about creating that foundation, and that solid foundation for yourself. And it came about, I think, just because of all my different experiences and my love of bringing like-minded people together. Like I said, creating these spaces where people can just relax and enjoy themselves and be themselves and connect with other people doing the same. And I was very adamant when I developed this that there were no PowerPoints allowed. And I had presenters who said, I need PowerPoint. And I said, they're not allowed. So if that's a problem, this is not the retreat for you.
Right.
Because we talk so much and people have the information that they need. I really believe they have it, but the transformation comes when they can experience it. So I don't want presenters talking about yoga, I want them doing yoga. And that way people can actually feel the effect of that practice. So it came about by me wanting to integrate all of these, me being my best self and being so present, because yoga is an important part, communication is an important part, that connection is an important part. And pulling all of that together in a space where, in this case, it ended up being women. That was mostly because my presenters marketed it that way. My original intention was not for it to be just for women, because I think men need this too.
They do.
But this particular one is for women, and it was just this idea. It was a seed, and I have done different iterations of it over the years, but this was really my fullest potential coming out to create a full day with 12 presenters at a hotel and marketing it on my own, and then having about 75, 80 people there for that first one last year, and watching I was crying when I didn't present. I did the opening and the closing.
Okay.
So as I went into the different rooms, just peeking in to see what was going on, and I saw women dancing and moving in ways that I know they don't do on a regular basis. Brought tears to my eyes. And even now it gives me chills, because I feel like we are in a society that is very restrictive. Right? There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of, well, what if I say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing? What if someone doesn't like me? What if they judge me? What if they criticize me? And to be able to just kind of wash all that away and let yourself move and let yourself breathe and let yourself explore different opportunities in your life is very freeing. And it was a seed, and I think all of me and what I think is important in this world, and pulling it all together in one day, one event.
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
As a presenter too, the great part of that was being able to go to the other people's presentations. So I got to go to a writing one, and I'm not always a writer. I like to write, but I don't do it enough. And the writing one, what is the writing person's name? Elizabeth
Last year it was Elizabeth Sauter.
Yeah, she was amazing.
Yeah.
So she gave us prompts, and you're just sitting. Didn't know what to expect. Just sitting there thinking, you know, I kind of know everything already. There's not much I need else. No more self-exploration needed here. And I was like, wow, okay, this is pretty deep. So she really got me to go deep within in a way that I wasn't even expecting. So it was amazing. And I did Mom Acts, a little amazing.
Embrace your worth.
Embrace your worth.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, have a love affair with Mom Mac. She's just amazing. She's an amazing woman, but that message is so perfect for anybody. And again, just left there after presenting myself, being so inspired by the 2 workshops that I got to attend. So it's a great event.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
This year we have
it's gonna
singing, voice program, and more writing with a different presenters. Suzette Martinez-Standring will be doing the writing program, and
Nice.
you'll be doing Create the Life You Desire.
Yes.
And mindfulness and yoga and meditation and soul collage, so it's a little bit more visual.
That's
creativity
awesome,
and
too. Yeah.
it's
So
a
how does
nice
it work?
mix.
When do they pick which classes they want to attend?
I usually send it.
Pre-register,
Yeah,
or-
I mean, just to give the presenters an idea of
Yeah.
what to expect, but really you can choose that day where you want to go. The space is big enough, and there'll be plenty of room for everybody, so you can choose. There's 3 sessions per hour slot, 4 breakout sessions throughout the whole day, and you can choose. You know, and some people, you know, are like, I think I need more relaxation, or I think I need more creative time, and
Right.
you can decide as the day progresses.
Right.
Yeah, it's very flexible.
It's a wonderful day of inspiration and self-exploration. So if you want to give just the website, your website to go to, and to just say the date and time again too, just for the audience to pick that up.
For the event, it's Saturday, January 21st, 2017 at the Nantasket Beach Resort in Hull, Massachusetts. And the website for that is movebreatheexplore.com. And it'll tell you everything you need to know with links to the different presenters. Yeah.
Yay! We hope to see you
It's
there.
gonna be fun.
Come on.
It was a tremendous day.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to try to attend.
Mary.
I just signed up with a coach, a chiropractic coach,
Bring
and
your
I
coach.
swear his verbiage is the same as yours.
Yeah.
It's
Really?
just
Which
it's
part?
the
The
same
presence
message.
part or the
connections,
connection, yeah.
people, your heart,
Yeah.
your desire. It's just all the same verbiage,
all the
and
same.
it's so interesting. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's 3. I call it 3 C's. Like I talked about, that foundation for yourself. It's confidence and being grounded in who you are. It's connection and feeling like you have a clear, like not a clear purpose, but a purpose. You know, I think that changes over time. But a
Right.
purpose and a sense of belonging. Those are really important for me. And the 3rd C is communication and being able to express the ideas that you have and the thoughts and the opinions and your stories and your knowledge. And I think that's really where, you know, we can have an impact on the world.
Absolutely.
And we all do it in different ways.
Right.
Right.
I like the way you talked about in the beginning how you were wide and then you narrowed it down. That's anyone, I think, in a new business or who really wants to get their message clarified so that they can give it in a more precise way. I think I've seen you do that just because I've known you over the last few years. So I see with your new website, which I think we need to tell the audience what your website is as well, StaceyShipman.com. And it's StaceyShipman.com. Check it out. You can see all the details of the work that Stacey does. You can see some of the Move, Breathe, Explore from last year, and you can get a better understanding of who she is. But your website change shows that you've made those changes too, which is really great.
It just brings everything together.
And I went on the website today, so I saw there's a free download that the audience can download it. And does that tie into a book that you're writing?
So the download is simple strategies to speak with more confidence. It's called Turn Speaking Stress into Success, and it's just a whole list of tips if you're giving a formal presentation or you have to talk to people, you know, one-on-one, small group, and just to give you a, you know, no theory, no research. It's just those basic tips. I'm feeling nervous. What do I do? I need to organize my thoughts. What do I do? So yeah, that's under shop. You can download that for free.
That's perfect. That's good. Especially if anyone has a presentation coming up and you're nervous, get it right away. You can download it immediately.
Yes, and it's free. It's helpful.
Yes.
People have told me that they really appreciate the tips in it because there's
I'm
things
sure.
that they wouldn't normally think about, but that ended up being very helpful. So.
Right. which all of us are speakers and we all do Toastmasters, so it's nothing to us. But I was just having a conversation over Thanksgiving with somebody about speaking, and she said, I can't believe you do that, I'm so terrified. I said, do you know how many people are terrified? It's one of the top 5 fears. I think it's a higher fear than death in recent surveys. Have you read that too?
Oh,
Or does
yeah.
anyone know that? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
And it's like any age, any job title. I
Yeah.
work a lot with young professionals, I mentioned that. And they get very nervous talking to executives. But I've also worked with executives. And they have similar insecurities. You know, we all
Right.
have it. For whatever reason.
I've seen it in my practice too. I have a lot of nurses that come in and a lot of teachers. And there's a lot of frustration that they've encountered, you know, say the last 5 years of their career. And a lot of them are afraid to speak. They're afraid to speak up. They're afraid to tell their stories.
Yeah.
They're afraid, and yet they have so much knowledge and they have so much wisdom.
Right.
So I'm always like, get yourself in Toastmasters and
Right.
learn to come out so that you can give your messages to the world, because the world needs you.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's why what you're doing is so brilliant, because you're getting people to share those stories.
That's
and I
right,
think,
yeah.
I mean, I love the interview style, because I think it makes it more comfortable for people versus
Yeah.
standing up one person in front of a room telling their story. For me, I much prefer a conversation
Right.
and hearing different perspectives, because it makes you feel less on the spot. So I think
Yeah.
it's important to figure out what that space looks like for you, the best way to express it.
Yeah. Very good. Stacy, would you like to offer the audience too a best practice? And it can be it doesn't have to be related to speaking, but what's a tip that you can leave the audience with today?
You know, I'm going to piggyback on what you were just saying about the story, because I really, you know, I grew up believing that nobody needs to know your business, and which was kept me from sharing myself, if you will. And I really believe that if we can own our stories, whether we share them or not, but acknowledge where we came from, what experiences we've had, and own that that's what brought us to where we are today, I think that there is a lot of freedom in that versus keeping it hidden. Because one of the things that I hear a lot in all of my programs and in casual conversations is, oh, I always thought I was alone in how I felt.
Yeah.
And once we can share our story, whether it's something as simple as I get nervous speaking in public, or it's something more, deeper or more traumatic, when we have the courage, it takes a lot of courage to do that, then I think we do feel less alone, and we realize, oh, I'm not on this journey, I'm not in this world alone. There are other people, and how can we support each other, and how can we get other support? So I really think owning that story, and then if you have the courage to share it when it makes sense to share it, it's a very healing and connecting
I like that.
process activity.
Very good. Very good. I think now in our world, and you will probably both agree, that there is so many people out there telling their story, almost to a point that it's too much. With big, truly, not to the point. Yeah.
Well, you have to know how to tell your story.
No, and yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just meaning. We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram,
Yeah,
we've got Twitter,
yeah.
we've got every
Yeah.
social media where people are exposing themselves in ways that we never did when we were younger, and honestly, I'm part of that crowd now, so I've definitely gotten into the same habit. But I feel like it is more freeing for people now, because it's kind of who we are as a society, or who we're becoming. I'm sure there are people out there, I have many clients too that have not fully owned their story or come into being honest about who they are, or whatever it is. And I feel like, but there is so much out there now that we can see, it's a little more. People can step into their own truth a little bit more when they see other people, even though some people are a little over the top with a lot of stuff that's out there.
Yeah.
But being who you are is not easy. And I feel like it's our journey here to become who we truly are. And stepping out into that isn't always easy.
Yesterday I was rushing to a field hockey meeting for parents, and there was a group of kids there. And so my daughter did not jump out of bed with enthusiasm, my 14-year-old, to attend this meeting.
Why?
So I got to the meeting, and there's my neighbor sitting behind me. And I looked at her and I said, she wouldn't get out of bed. And she looks at me and she says, well, mine didn't get out of bed till 11:30 either. And at that moment, there was a connection.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
said, oh my gosh. I said, your daughter too? And she said, yeah. And I felt like I didn't feel alone.
Right.
Just like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. And that conversation, just any conversation, you know, we're all like on our phones and stuff, that just hearing the truth, you know.
That's a good example.
Can be clouded on the internet, on Facebook. Because
Yeah.
we can choose
That's
and
true.
edit what we tell people.
Absolutely. I think that often with being a parent too, and just other things that you think you're saying, like, oh, nobody else is experiencing this. Oh, this is so embarrassing. Oh, I can't believe it. And you don't know. And Facebook is the perfect example. There is a picture. I had a picture of my son and I walking on a jetty, and we're holding hands, and our friend took the picture from behind, and people were commenting, oh, that's so nice. Look at that. Yeah, I'm literally dragging him,
Right.
and he's saying, I don't want to go. I want to go back. I want to go back. I'm like, no, we're going. We're going. So I wrote that on Facebook. I said, I know it looks like, oh, we're in the sunset walking down the jetty, but he was complaining the entire way, and I was pulling him. So that is what, you
Right.
never know
I
what's
know.
behind.
The story behind the story.
Yeah, yeah. So you
Yeah.
always want to be aware of that too, because that's leading into a whole other subject. But oftentimes people think Facebook is the reality. Oh, those people are always out. Those people are always buying new cars. They're doing this, they're doing that.
We're always having a good time.
Yeah, you really don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So just remember that. That's really the truth. I do love my husband, and I often put a date night picture up there. But I feel like sometimes people are thinking, you know, someone said to me, when I saw your picture on date night, I was like, oh, she's on date night and I'm home. And I said, oh, well, you know. But you just don't know what people are really have going on.
Unless they
But,
tell you.
Yeah. So connection is huge. You brought us some great awareness of who you are today and what you do, what you have to offer to the world. I know it's a lot and it's wonderful, and I think it's great to see that you've had this journey. How long was your journey between really going out on your own and coming into now who you feel like you're really in your true power and the truth of who you are now? How long?
10
that,
years.
Yeah, that's good. That's a very
March
good.
will be 11.
I love hearing that.
It's been a long
Because
time.
sometimes people
I don't want it to take. I don't want everybody to take
Right.
that long, which is part of why I do what I do,
else
right?
do you have to
10
do with
years,
your
yeah.
life?
Well,
Right?
you but
We
you-
all have
right.
That's
get-
time, right?
happier and healthier. And
Exactly.
just grow and expanding consciousness, and
Yeah.
just that's what we all
Perfectly.
need to do.
But you were moving along on the journey the whole time. So it's just like refining it and getting, as you said, narrowing it down to who you were. But you were still making progress with helping others this whole time. But I think sometimes people start off on the journey and quit too soon because they can't figure it out or they don't know. So that's encouragement to keep going on your journey. Sometimes it takes a while.
And it is frustrating. And it
Very frustrating.
Someone once
Yes.
likened, I don't have kids, but someone once likened it to growing pains with kids, is that moment they're in a lot of pain because they're actually getting ready to have a growth spurt. So there's pain, and there's, you know, angst, and, you know, they're miserable. And then all of a sudden one day they wake up and it's like, hey, you know, what's going on? And all of a sudden they're happy, and
you're supposed
they
to
went
love them.
through and you're supposed to love them again. But it's a similar kind of growth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me anyway. And every time it
agree.
got painful, I was like, this stinks. I want to. But the reality is, if you can just stick with it and take that one more step.
Mm-hmm. It's
It
a
gets-
journey of self-growth, for sure. Anybody who thinks they're going to get out there and start their business and it's just going to be that, it's so much more. It's
Oh
a
my
journey
God.
of everything you ever have to come up against. Your own self-worth, do people like me? Is this the right thing? Am I good enough? All that
Am
stuff.
I crazy?
Yeah.
I can't remember where I read this, but I just loved the phrase. But someone wrote an article about, you know, being a solopreneur or starting your own business, and when you go out on your own, especially if it's like a service business that comes directly from your heart, which most does, but you're selling you as a speaker or service professional versus a product, that it's like getting a spiritual MBA, because every step along the way it really does face some fear, whether it's like you were saying, am I good enough, or am I making enough, am I charging enough, how do I have these conversations? And I was talking to someone recently, she's like, oh, I've always wanted to go out on my own. Oh, you know, what are you thinking of? And we go through it, and people ask me, is it hard? And I'm like, no, hanging your shingle is easy. But everything else that comes with it, I think takes a lot of grit. You're the tech support and the budgeting person and the financial person and the practitioner all in one. And you have to be prepared for that.
Absolutely.
It's not easy.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have your business.
And I'm making some changes, so I'm stepping into those shoes
Yeah.
you just talked about, you know. But at some point you have to say to yourself, what's going to make me happy? And so you have to, you know, I'm afraid a little bit about this new venture I'm going to be taking on.
Of course.
But,
What are you doing?
well, I'm just stepping out, I'm leaving the practice where I am, and I'm going to open up my own practice.
Oh.
Yeah, after 20 years of
Congratulations.
practicing with part-time and kind of on my, you know. Yeah, so it's a big step.
It's going to be
It is a
awesome.
big step.
It's
That's
gonna-
awesome.
It's going to be awesome. Absolutely. But it is. It's a step-by-step process. But I always say to Mary, this is personal, but she's been doing this anyway. So it's just a little bit bigger than it was. But you have all that you need. It's just plus you have this chiropractic coach now. It's all going to step out perfectly.
That's why you
Stacey's
have the
workshop.
coach. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think it's
Yeah.
hard sometimes for us to reach out and ask other people for help and to have trust with other people and to, you know, to say to yourself, is this the right person? Like, is this who's going to be able to really help me? And so you have to listen to their verbiage and their line, and you have to listen to your own heart and say, what they're talking about, does that resonate with me?
Yes.
You know, so it's all good.
Yeah, and only you have the real answers within. I know I hired so many people in the beginning that it was all fear-based. Let me hire this person, they'll help me, they'll help me. And I realized it was just wasting my money because I wasn't even ready yet to make those steps that they were supposed to be helping me implement. It was more my fear of, but you'll take each step as you're ready. You'll move along the journey as you're supposed to. And one other thing I have to say, and you'll probably both agree to this, is that what is ours, what's yours and mine, can never be taken from us. So keep moving towards whatever it is that you desire and know that it's there waiting for you. I believe it's already here, but we're stepping into the place of being able to open up to it all. So that keeps me going too, thinking that it's right there. So we just have to move into it.
Embrace it and move forward.
Well, I love what you said about you weren't ready for the coaching, because I went into coaching early on when I first became self-employed too. I hired different coaches for different reasons, and I always went in thinking like, oh good, they're gonna fix me.
Yes, that's it.
And, and they can't. So I always left these coaching engagements. They were great and whatever, but I never felt fixed. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, they can't fix me. I got to figure this out on my own. But I think what a good coach does is asks you questions. Because to your point, we all, I do believe we all have the answers inside of us, but they could be clouded or hidden, or you know, we can't hear them or something. And having that person, mentor, coach, guide, whatever, to really not tell us what to do or how to be, but to ask questions that get us thinking about it. Because I think as individuals, if we can come up with our own answers to things, at least this is how it works for me. I don't do well when people tell me what to do, but if they ask me questions,
None of us do.
right?
No.
Does anyone? But when I'm asked questions that lead me to my own answer, I'm more likely to take some action. And that's really powerful.
Yeah.
That's great. Perfect. Perfect ending. Do you have anything else, Stacey, that you'd like to add? Any feedback to the audience or anything you'd like to leave them with?
Sure. Can I? That's
Of
what
course.
That's what I leave
Yes.
people with in all of my programs, no matter how long I'm with them. And when it comes to communication, I really think that our fullest potential is realized when we're able to express ourselves. And again, it could be in a chiropractic business, a speaking business, communication business, it doesn't matter. And so I always leave people with three things. So the first one is remember to breathe. Just take that exhale and make time for some quiet. You can change your perspective, shift your perspective, and you can shift the perspective of the space that you're in. The second one is to remember to always bring your best self to every interaction. So if things are crazy at home, you gotta figure that out before you get into work, and vice versa. So always think about, am I bringing my best self to this interaction? And then the third one is to remember that your voice matters. Your voice can really make a difference and have an impact when we have the courage to share our stories and our knowledge and our ideas and turn them into something that makes sense for us.
Those are wonderful tips. Great way to leave the audience and Mary and I today. Well, thank you so much.
To all of us.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us today,
you for having
Stacey.
me.
Yes, we really enjoyed it. Do you want to, I would like you to end, as you always do, with our Toastmaster.
Oh, we're going to talk about Toastmasters.
Hey!
Has to be just quick.
We always like to tell the audience.
Yeah. You're all welcome to come to the Tri-County Talkers Toastmasters meeting, which we meet the second and fourth Tuesday at 16 Belmont Street. It used to be called the Center for Nonprofit Management, owned by Stonehill College, but now it's just the Brocktonian room. And we'd love to have the public come. You're more than welcome to attend our meetings, and they begin at 7:15 till 9 o'clock p.m. And we're timely, in and out.
Yes. Do you want to tell us when your meeting is, Stacy, if you'd like to? Sure.
I'm a member of the Hanover Toastmasters, and we meet on the first and third Monday of the month at the Rockland Trust corporate offices in Hanover from 6 p.m. until 7:45, and we are also very timely.
That's a good meeting time, 6 to 7:45.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's early enough. Yeah.
That's good. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us today.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you watching, and we hope that you take our tips and gratitude and the tips from Stacy and have a wonderful week.
Adios.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.